Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Clare Stewart, the director of the BFI London Film Festival, and it's a pleasure to have you here this evening for our BFI Patrons Gala, the UK premiere of Downsizing. I'd like to say a very big thank you indeed. This event is partly our thank you to the BFI patrons whose generous support really underwrites a lot of what we do at the BFI during the year. So a very, very warm welcome to you and thank you for your ongoing support. And also a very big thank you to our partners at Paramount Pictures who are working with us on this evening's presentation. It's a really great moment always to welcome back filmmakers who have become very beloved, part of the fabric of the BFI London Film Festival. Director Alexander Payne has been here for Sideways, for The Descendants, and most recently for Nebraska. Will you please join me in making very welcome writer, director, producer Alexander Payne.
Thanks for the nice introduction, and it's great to be back at the London Film Festival for the fourth time. And I have to say, really good to be a part of what I think is a good year for film. I think there are a lot of good films around the world this year and here represented at the festival. And on a personal note, if I may, my presence here is all the more sweet because I wasn't supposed to be here. I had told the festival and the studio that, well, my wife and I just had a baby. I mean, she had the baby. Thank you for that. Everything came out fine. And actually today was the due date. And I thought, oh, there's no way I can make the London Film Festival. But the baby came 2 weeks early, and I got the go-ahead from the missus last week. All right, you can go to London for 2 days. So I'm here, and it's very sweet, and I'm very grateful, and grateful to you for having me again, grateful to Paramount for letting me make this damn film. And we have here, I guess we'll talk about it in a moment, but we have others who worked on it. Here's producer Mark Johnson. Here's an actress you may not know from other work, but you will be very aware of her when you leave the theater tonight. Here's Hong Chow. And last but not least, the great Christoph Waltz.
Alexander, congratulations on a film that I think has great scope and ambition. It feels very important for our times. It touches on themes of climate change, of immigration, but it's also rippling with great satire. Can you give us a bit of a sense of the inception of the project?
Well, two things. My co-writer Jim Taylor and his brother had noodled for years about some sort of film idea about if you were only so large or so small, how much different your life could be, how much more wealthy you would be in a flash. But what to do with this idea, with this germ of an idea. And then about 10 years ago, I came to Jim, and this was after Sideways, and I said, well, what if we put it in kind of a political context? I mean, how would this idea really, really come about? Well, probably the end would be as a panacea to overpopulation and climate change and all those things. Like, that's really how it would come about. And probably Scandinavians would think about it, would invent it. So once we agreed on that, all the other narrative dominoes sort of fell.
Great. And Mark, it's a terrifically ambitious film to make in many ways. From a production point of view, how did you go about putting the film together?
Well, first of all, it was a real honor to be doing an Alexander Payne movie. I couldn't believe he asked me to produce it. And I think the biggest job was, despite the canvas, and you'll see it's a very large movie and very sort of imaginative world, to help him protect that it still may remain an Alexander Payne film. So it has its characters, it has its nuance, it has the idiosyncrasies and the humor.
Yeah, let me just add, and I thank you for that, because certainly a fear in American filmmaking when you have a larger budget is that there will be many pressures to sand sharp edges. And we wanted to be very vigilant about that.
And Hong Chau, can I firstly congratulate you on what I think is an extraordinary performance, which this audience is also about to discover. How did you become involved in the project, and can you give us a little bit of insight into what you found compelling about the script?
Well, I auditioned. I read for him, and that's how I got the role. I originally read the script because I was an Alexander Payne fan, and I was just curious. I didn't know that there was going to be a role in there for me. So that was a very pleasant surprise. And this has just been a really dream experience, everything, working with Alexander. He started off as my idol, and then he was my boss, and now he's my friend. So it's beautiful.
And Christoph, for you, as the the audience is about to discover, this is a role that you're clearly relishing. We don't want to say too much, but you're having a lot of fun doing it. Can you give us a bit of insight into how you came to the film?
I pushed myself onto Alexander. And when I had pounded him flat, I suggested to play this part, and then, what decent way would he have had out of it?
I realized that you were looking at me as if I should answer that question, and I just don't know the answer. Congratulations to all of you on what I think is a truly magnificent film. We're really proud to be presenting it at London tonight. So please enjoy Downsizing.
Thanks for coming.
It's our honor.